What if you got up in the morning, just like when you were a kid and you knew you were going on the field trip? The unexpected, the unknown was going to happen. You weren't going to do the same thing and go to the same place and see the same teacher and write the same stuff. You were going on an adventure that day. And you woke up before your parents. You were dressed and you made your bed because you were so fired up. That's the natural state of being. And there's a place right in the frontal lobe, right between the two hemispheres, just that little union right in the front, that expectation of something amazing happening. That moment where you're excited about possibility. What if you woke up that way? I mean, 70% of every person on their way to a chemotherapy treatment gets nauseous on the drive over because the doctor told them they were going to get sick. They didn't even have the chemotherapy. Their body's in the future, and they're turning on that response physiologically ahead of the actual event. 70% of every person can get sick just on their way to a chemotherapy treatment. You can get well on your way to work. What's the difference? Tell me. In the expectation of possibility, not you trying to control the outcome and say it has to be this way. It has to be this way. That's not it. That's the hormones of stress. You're separate from possibility and you're trying to force it. But when you've connected and you've drank from the well that day, and something moved in you, its nature became your nature, and for some reason you're tickled on the inside, and you're lighthearted, and you're not thinking about your problems anymore, and you're loose and kind of free, and you're trusting in the outcome, you're connected to possibility in that moment. And I can tell you from experience, every single time, the miraculous has happened in my life. And I mean, wild, crazy stuff. Every single time, the only thing my scientific mind can come up with is I'm absolutely silly. I'm goofy, I'm lighthearted, I'm free, I'm not thinking, my energy's kind of salsa-ish. I don't know what that is, but something happens to me. And that, for some reason, is kind of childish, isn't it? It's kind of like being like a child. I'm not anticipating the next moment. I'm in the moment. And when are you at your best? Aren't you at your best when you're kind of poised and spontaneous, kind of free, and it's just kind of flowing out of you and you're trusting? The only reason you put the brakes on is because your brain is in a state of incoherence. It's out of balance. But all of this space that you're in space, let's create coherence. I'm watching you. You're moving into coherence, and your brain is beginning to work in unison. And that kind of presence is where you are the center of the universe, and you're poised, and you're spontaneous, and you're clear, and you're trusting, and you're flowing, and you're not analyzing anymore. Because you analyze, or we analyze, the brain is divided in half. You know, you got two hemispheres here. And you got this bridge that goes across it. And when adrenaline and cortisol is running in your body, you know what you're doing, don't you? Past, future, good, bad, right, wrong, negative, positive, should I, shouldn't I, he'll do this, she'll do that. That's going on. And that's the incoherent state. That creates duality. But when you move into that place where you're totally present, those two hemispheres fire in unison. And you're experiencing a sense of self that is beyond polarity. And if you want to explain what that is, that's wholeness. And wholeness then is what we feel when we are in love, true sense of worthiness, gratitude. elevated emotion where your mind and body, your brain and your heart are working in psychic union in that moment. That's the natural state of being. But you can't get it from watching Friends on TV. You can't get it from watching the news. You can't get it from video gaming. You can't get it from shopping. You can't get it from overeating or undereating. You can't get it from diet. You can't. You have to cultivate that within you. You have to be able to bring that up every day.